Gardens were well known for growing rice. Well known for growing rice.
Coming to Brookgreen Gardens, I thought I was only going to have one interview. So when I had the opportunity for a second interview, I was quite surprised. And what a pleasant surprise it was. Talking with Ron Daise will rank as one of the best times I've had on History at Risk. Ron is the Vice President for Creative Education at Brookgreen Gardens, a singer, a songwriter, and a Gullah culture preservationist.
Here at Brookgreen, I have a weekly Gullah Geechee program series, and I change the program seasonally. And no, it is not a culture only of some 200 years ago. It's a present-day culture. The music, the foodways, the crafts, and the language all are practiced to this day.
All together on the rice plantations, they grew Carolina gold.
Now, how does that directly relate with Brookgreen Gardens, the heritage and the history?
Brookgreen Gardens and the other three plantations on which Brookgreen Gardens is established were former rice plantations. Because they were former rice plantations, the inhabitants, or those who were brought to work, were enslaved West Africans coming primarily from the rice coast countries of Africa. And there's rice heritage here within the gardens and within Georgetown and surrounding counties. Many people, when they think of Gullah Geechee culture, they think of sweetgrass baskets. Sweetgrass baskets made from sweetgrass, a grass that grows in the marsh. Marsh grass is sewn together with pine needles as well as strips of palmetto leaves. Traditionally, these sweetgrass baskets were used for practical purposes, dealing with rice culture, storing rice, or for as serving trays.
I am a Gullah, a saltwater Geechee Gullah.
Bottle trees. Colorful glass bottles generally are turned upside down on tree limbs to lure evil spirits away from their homes. Because the bottles were turned upside down on the tree limbs, once those spirits were inside, they would not be able to get out.
Carolina, Georgia, Sea Island, and my ancestors came from West Africa.
The language of Gullah Geechee people, for years it was stated that Gullah or Geechee was only a dialect. It was substandard or broken English. Linguists have informed us that Gullah is a language. It has its own grammatical rules. Gullah Geechee speakers, for the most part, are bilingual. We will speak English as effectively as possible in the appropriate situations, but you will find when we are among ourselves or among people with whom we feel comfortable, you're going to hear something that ain't sound like the way we talk when we around them other people.
Under the same sun and with one vision, they grew Carolina gold.
Most of the music from West Africa, and as sung by their descendants, the Gullah Geechee people, are call and response songs, where a leader calls out the words and everyone else responds or answers back to the call that is given. And this type of music was very resourceful in working in the fields and on the waterways, because the singers became a vocal community. Everyone could work together at the same time, and the job was accomplished much easily. Well, Gullah Geechee culture is an important part of the American cultural fabric.
In touristy locations like the Carolina coast, it's easy to forget that behind the lights and the bars and the shops, that there's a history that shouldn't be allowed to be swept away like sand on a beach. Next, I'm heading further south on my journey to find a piece of history that was almost lost entirely to the ocean. See you then.